Now let's go over some style specific kills. The following 3 videos are meant only to let you see some of the mechanics in play. So let's take a quick look at a mage setup using a nihil. This first phase, after you burn the web, it's essentially time gated. So as long as you can burn the boss down before the web is burned, then it doesn't matter how fast or slow you go. In this particular case, I didn't burn the boss down before the web burned, and that's primarily because you need to be using either a Death Swiftness, a Berserk, or a Sunshine, and I didn't do any of those. You can see right here that the boss is going to cleave and he's going to miss me because I had freedom up. I walked backwards. You really only want to be walking the boss in this first phase if you put a bleed on him so that you can get that extra damage. Here I had anticipation up, so I'm going to be able to break out of that cocoon really quick. Every once in a while you'll see me weave in a G-staff just to be able to put a debuff on him. It's not really necessary when you're first starting out, but it does help on some of these kills when you're trying to push the speeds a little bit. Now I'm walking over to path 2, phase 2, and I'm sitting him inside the acidity pool, and I'm going to start off with a Sunshine just to help burn down his HP. When he gets around to 50% acidity, I'm going to start walking him up the path. Right here when he webs, you have a few things that you can do. You can get off of him completely, or you can DPS through it if you feel comfortable, which is what I did right there. You can also barricade and deal damage to him so that way he can't heal himself. But as you can see right now, I've already pretty much met the damage cap. We're at 67% acidity and he's already at 20k left, so I'm going to have no problem burning the rest of this down. I'm going to pull him up to the path and leave one space behind me open for a cleave. And he's going to do another web attack, so I'm going to just start attacking through it and healing some of the damage. When it gets to this point, I'm going to start shield camping because every time he gets below 5,000 life, he's going to keep healing himself. So I want to get him as low as possible without him being at 5,000 life. Now we transition into phase 3, and at this point he's going to be able to use all of the attacks from the phase that I just went through and the path that I didn't go through, and it's not going to be too much of a problem. It's just the darkness. You can stand in the light. Sometimes I will ignore this if the damage is really low or the enrage is low, but right now I was nihiling for one of the first times as a mage, so I wasn't really sure what type of supplies I would use, so just went into it just in case. Essentially the way this works out is the more over geared you are, the more things that you can ignore. If you're really low geared and you don't have some of the recommended levels that I was talking about, you're really going to have to obey every single mechanic or you're going to run through your supplies really fast. For example, right now I'm soul splitting, and you wouldn't want to do this if you had really bad gear, but the gear that I'm using right now is enough to be able to withstand his attacks on me and still get some decent heals in. At the start of P4, you're going to want to use an ability, and then you can heal up to full without losing any adrenaline. You should use Devotion right before the boss attacks you, and you will get a free Devotion for the first couple of seconds of this phase. I'm going to apply another G-staff so that way his defenses are lowered a little bit, and I'm going to start working down on his HP. And I think for this phase I'm going to decide to use an Onslaught instead of using a Sunshine, but you can choose whichever one you feel comfortable with. Now one thing that's dangerous about this is I don't have Venom Blood on my armor, so you're going to see me take a lot of poison damage throughout this fight. And the reason why I don't have Venom Blood on this is I don't usually mage Rex, and this gear that I'm using is for bosses that don't poison. But you should bring a poison plus potion with you. Around 30k life points I'm going to Onslaught, and right when it gets down to the end I know that I'm not going to be able to live through the whole thing, so I finish it off with a basic ability and it's done. Switching gears a little bit, we have a 300% range kill, and the interesting thing about this is I never really do range or any enrage for that matter above 200% because I kind of just switch over to a different account and then build up my enrage on that guy, and then I'm kind of done for racks for the day. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could do a 300% before I released the guide on this, so I kind of just went out, got a bunch of my really good food out of the bank and a bunch of brews, and just try to see if I could make it the whole way through. I don't have Reckless in this kill, and I also don't have Sharpshooter, and my Dark Magic was also used already, so I'm using Vampirism. So basically my DPS is garbage, and because I thought that I was going to use this to narrate how to take care of the ads for a new player, I don't really skip too many things. I actually focus on the ads. You're going to see right here, I gather up all of the ads, and I pop on a shield, and when you have the shield on, you can reflect and revenge, and since most of these ads that are hitting you have really high accuracy against you, they're going to reflect a lot of those hits back onto themselves, and you can get lucky where they will almost kill themselves. There's another thing that I like to do for these ads when they're bunched up really well. I would use a mechanized Chinchompa and do some basic abilities on the boss, and they would ricochet on all of the ads and kill them. But sometimes I don't do it, but you can just see right there I killed about 5 ads in one attack, and that's basically the best way that I like to do that. When you're doing duos, it's amazing because there's 40 ads that spawn, and you can bunch them up way easier on duo and kill them all right away, which makes this path right here really easy to do when you're teaching new people. Right now the boss's HP is really low, and I'm going to just whittle it down a little bit more before I pull him over into the last phase and do a Death Swiftness. He's going to target me with a light, and I'm going to go in there just because I want to make sure that I have enough food available for the rest of the fight. So I'm going to let him stand inside the Death Swiftness so he can take some hits, and then I'm going to pull him out, walk a little bit of a bleed, and then just start going through a DPS rotation just to whittle down the rest of the life points that he has left. Now going into the last phase, if you use an ability, then you can heal all the way up to full without losing any adrenaline, so that's what I'm going to do. I typically like to devotion before the boss battle starts, but I didn't right here. I'm going to go inside this spawn, and I'm going to use a Death Swiftness after he does his special attack. For this kill, I'm opting to go with a Death Swiftness to kill him, and it was a little bit too early, but as long as you can handle your prayer switches, it shouldn't be too much of a problem with you. You just have to be really good at doing the prayer switches and keybinding food. It should be really hard for you to get comboed completely to death, especially if you have a Sign of Life available. If you absolutely cannot do PVM and EOC, you can get a legacy kill very easily, especially if you've got good gear. In this kill I'm using full Armadil, and I'm using Glavins. I'm not using overloads just to prove the point that you don't need them. I think right now I've got super ranging potions, but you could use grand ranging potions and grand defense potions and you would have no problem. This kill's not too slow. You can get 5-minute kills as long as you have perked out gear and everything and it's on legacy, but the only thing that you really need to worry about for this is just prayer switching at the end. So this part right here is just click and wait, click and wait, click and wait. You have to obey some of the mechanics. You have to move for your cleaves. You have to make sure that you're not really attacking when he's about to attack. So it's something that is easy to do, but it's something that you don't want to get too comfortable doing this, because then you're never going to learn the correct way how to kill this boss. But if you just need a 1 kill, or you're just feeling very, very lazy and you've got good gear, then this is a way that you can get kills, as you can see in this video.